Rossi, the guy with the eye. Today, you know what? It's almost July 4th. I bet you in this past couple of days you've actually seen some fireworks. But have you taken out your camera? I still haven't been able to take it out since last year yet because I've been working a little bit. I'm up in New York right now. But I have some tips for you on how to capture fireworks. And once again, I've got some quick notes and tips and some little stuff you can think about and something pretty cool you can try. So that's one of the last things you'll hear. Don't skip ahead. So what is a couple of the things that you should actually start trying? One, you know what? One of the most important things is to get to the location as fast as you can. Not as fast, I'm sorry. To get to the location pretty early, say maybe 2 hours earlier, because a lot of people pack in pretty quickly. So why would you want to get there early? Mainly so you can frame your shot. You know, think about what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, and just set it up, get to your spot, relax, and yeah, then it's just comes time to shooting later on. But you can choose, you know, what kind of lens you want, etc. So what would I recommend after, getting there? Use a tripod. It's very, very hard to take these things handheld, these fireworks handheld, because it's just tough. You're just trying to capture light and focusing, which I'll get into. It's just very tough. You're doing it handheld. Use a tripod. Number one main accessory / thing you'll have to bring to capture fireworks. Now, after you bring your tripod, it's recommended to bring a remote trigger, which just hooks into your camera and you can fire it, so you avoid shuttering or shaking the camera. You don't have to do it. I get great shots with it without one. But one of the main things, if you have them, they're less than $30. Usually, you can get an off-brand one for like $5, and it doesn't matter off eBay. Now, what kind of lens are you going to use? Do you want to use a wide-angle lens to get people in the foreground and the fireworks, or do you want to use a long lens just to get the awesome explosions? That's what you have to decide. With the settings I'm going to give you, it's a good base point. The whole point of this is to experiment and try. It's tough to get the people in the foreground in somewhat of a decent exposure because you're mainly just going to blacken them out because you're going to have a larger f-stop just to be able to capture the light and to get a pretty good exposure. So as I said, kind of frame your shot, think about what you're going to do. But here's a starting point for you. One of the main things I'll start out with, besides picking your focal length, is your ISO. Now you're thinking, it's dark outside, obviously. You're going to need to let in a lot of light. You're going to think, ISO 800, 1600. Actually, no. These are pretty bright lights. Hence, they can light the sky. So use a low ISO, 100, 50 if you have it, 200, nothing large. So keep your ISO low. Shutter speed is pretty important. A lot of people are going to do 1/30th of a second exposures, etc. Use a bulb mode. If you don't know what bulb mode is, it's from when the time either the remote or the shutter on the camera body is clicked. That's when the shutter opens, allowing light to come in, and then once it's released, it's done. That's the exposure. A lot of people use it for painting with light, actually. And that's kind of what you're doing with this, except you're trying to capture a firework. After that, focusing is one of the biggest problems a lot of people have because people don't, they try to autofocus it. Go into manual mode and actually manually focus your lens. The best way to do this, and I got this from a tip from Jared Pollan, Frono's Photo. One of the biggest tips he gave is to, after the light explodes, after the firework explodes, and you see the trails, the sky will be pretty bright, and you can manually focus on that. So that is going to be the biggest thing. A lot of people say is to go into infinity exposure, etc. Gets tough. So, you know what? I've actually used that tip from Jared, and it works out really well. So, manually focus. Now, I already covered your ISO, so 100, 200, low ISO. I've already covered your shutter. You could even do like a 1/8 of a second or something, but I recommend using bulb mode to manually get whatever you'd like. Also, I would like to, say f-stop. F-stop 8 to f8 to f16 is pretty common and a great place to start. So start around 8 or 10 and go around from there. Once again, it is very experimental. You're going to want to take a couple shots. This works, this doesn't. Just build off of that, and you'll get your exposure right. Boom, you're set the whole time. Now, what is a pretty cool tip I would have for you at the end? So we have, your frame, everything's set up, exposure's good. If you're on bulb mode, get a black, anything black or dark, sweatshirt, hoodie shirt, anything, foam board that you can get at Staples for like $1. And so capture one burst going off, and instead of letting go, the shutter, put the black cloth in front of the lens, and as another one goes off, take it away real quick and get, another firework. So it's pretty much creating, multiple layers. It's kind of like a real life Photoshop. It'd be kind of cool. And instead of, doing individual shots and layering them, you might get this awesome picture with 7 different explosions, in different spots, and it'll look really, really cool. So there's some quick tips, tripod, remote shutter, or remote cord, low ISO, higher f-stop, F8, F10 to start, bulb mode as for your shutter, and yeah. So guys, have a lot of fun, and hopefully you learned something from this. If you guys want, comment below if you have any other tips that I didn't add, or what settings work for you guys and what cameras you guys are using. Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye. Please subscribe to my channel. Have a good one. Happy 4th of July. Take it easy. Enjoy your fireworks.